Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Best on Wellbeing podcast. Today, we continue the discussion on physical health, and we're going to talk about longevity. Longevity has become a huge topic these days all over the internet and what it takes to live a long and healthy life. And what I like about this one is how kind of boring the answer is. We always want the exciting, where as human beings, we love exciting things. We like the exciting thing. I can't believe that's an amazing answer. It's, not enough of, the amino acid leucine, that if we have enough of that, we'll live longer, ooh, interesting, lots of stuff like that out there. But interestingly enough, there has been some really good longevity studies or people that live over, for example, there's been the Harvard study for adult development that's been going on, I believe, since the 1940s. So about 80-year study of a group of people that were both affluent and poor, group of adults that grew up and then they had kids and then their kids had kids. And the longest standing study in the world, which is this one, has been studying these people and studying their kids and looking at blood work and interviews and different, really a ton of information on really trying to understand what makes someone live long and healthy. And the answer is really simple. Good relationships, okay? Good relationships are the primary driver of longevity and being healthy in terms of our later years. And I think it's such a silly, I kind of love it. I think it's hilarious because, again, there's so many, exciting things that like these days in the terms of our cellular health, they talk about the telomeres. And if we can keep the telomeres from shrinking, then we won't get old as fast and all sorts of stuff. But the bottom line is that not having good relationships for most humans is a sure way to have less health. Okay. And we're talking about really some of their stuff they come up with was very clear data, like higher chances of diabetes, higher chances of heart disease in terms of if you have lots of, or at least meaningful, close and healthy relationships, or if you're very lonely. So, in this instance, I would say one of the biggest factors that will assist somebody to maintain long-term health and longevity is to really take care of our relationships, something we can call social hygiene. Hygiene is a very, when we talk about physical, dental hygiene, is basically practices that are conducive to health. So what's our practice that is conducive to our social health? What's that phone call that we know we should be making for somebody close in our lives that we've been putting off? What's that difficult conversation with somebody we're close to that we've been putting off that's impacting our ability to connect? That is so important for our physical health. It's not, the data is super clear. This is not some sort of voodoo, if you're happy emotionally, everything will be perfect physically. There's actual data that being lonelier, having less good relationships directly impacts physical health. So social hygiene, okay? Good practices in terms of connecting, making that phone call, considering the other, maintaining relationships, having what we can call courageous conversations, that hard conversation that, when maybe there's been a conflict, there's been an issue, and we need to communicate and talk about it, even though it's kind of scary and it's not easy and it's tense, but it's necessary. We need to do those things. Those are highly important for our physical health, okay? The number two thing, from my understanding of the literature, is leg strength. Leg strength is a high predictor of long-term physical health and well-being. Because if your legs are pretty strong in your midlife, you're in your 50s and you have pretty good leg strength, well, then the natural decline that will happen will be slowed down because you have good leg strength. And if you can maintain it into your later years, then the decline will be even slower. And when we have good leg strength, we're more likely to leave the house and therefore be less lonely. We're less likely to fall. Falls are a huge factor in terms of how long people live. Usually if you're in your 80s and you begin falling, That's not a great sign for longevity. So out of all the things, and this outweighs cholesterol levels, diet, a lot of things that. So the two main takeaways, and look, I know some people want to get like, what about supplements and what about this? And I am a supplement guy, so I'm going to give my opinion eventually. But I really like sometimes how it's really simple to that so simple that we put it aside, like it's not worth, like that phone call that we haven't made to the person that we know we should be calling. It's so important to make that call for your own sake, for your own physical health, not for for the other too, which have a good intention for the other, but ultimately maintaining good social relationships is incredibly important for our physical health. So social hygiene, practicing good social hygiene, maintaining good social relationships is number one in terms of longevity and maintaining good physical health. Number two, keep your legs strong, whether you go for walks, whether you bike, whether just doing squats. Like squats are just so important, so underrated as just a simple exercise that everybody could do for 1 to 2 minutes a day and to just keep your legs strong. So keeping your legs strong, maintaining good social relationships are probably your two biggest things or factors, determinants you can take care of to maintain a long, healthy, and enjoy longevity as we go through the lifespan. Thank you, folks. We'll keep the discussion going on physical health in our next couple episodes. We'll see you.